Satoru Gojo is the strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen. His amount of curse energy is superhuman, and his limitless paired with his 6 eyes makes him nearly unbeatable. But because Yuji is the main character, it has caused many to ponder the question if he will ever surpass his sensei. This is actually quite the controversial topic among many in the fandom, especially Gojo stans, as many people claim that Gojo is literally unbeatable, he can never be surpassed, which is why I had to make that video on Gojo, and thanks for the support on that one did pretty well. But there's actually a lot of evidence that Yuji will eventually surpass Gojo. Now some will say, of course Yuji will surpass Gojo. He is the main character. While I do agree that this is at least some evidence, I still find it rather weak on its own. So I want to make this video to provide the argument and theorize whether or not Yuji will surpass his sensei, Satoru Gojo. Now before we get into this video, I want you guys to comment right now what you think before you get into the video. So just comment, do you think Yuji will surpass Gojo? And then you can edit it later on if you now agree with me, or just comment again and saying your thoughts. With that being said, let's get into the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Broku. Thank you guys so much for all of the support. The channel's doing amazing, the video's doing amazing, and it seems like you guys are really enjoying them. I really do appreciate that very, very much. And I do want to say I want to get a 1,000 like goal on this Jujutsu Kaisen video, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do down below, and also turn notifications, just how YouTube works now. If you want to see my videos, subscribe and turn notifications, and also you can join my Discord and follow me on Twitter. Those will also be linked down below. With that being said, let's just get into this theory of Yuji surpassing Gojo. I believe that when it comes to theories or making claims, that you should always start with the best point first, as if the claim that you are making is at all extraordinary or unpopular. Starting with its most convincing point can act as a hook to draw people in. Gojo has actually implied himself that Yuji would surpass him. That's an important piece of information if you think that maybe Gojo will never be surpassed. In chapter 18 of the manga, he states, "The wave of power that you guys have been ignoring to maintain your status and in the name of stupid traditions has gotten huge and it's approaching. The new generation will be limited to special grade. If you think I'm going to be the only one to question your authority, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, old man." This is a very important quote from Gojo, because this is him actually implying that the new generation will surpass him. As currently in the Jujutsu grading system, special grade is the highest rank, and Gojo is currently at this rank. We also know that Yuta Okotsu is at this rank as well of special grade. But when Gojo says that the new generation won't be limited to special grade, it shows Hikari and Yuji as well. And if he thinks that Yuji won't be limited to special grade, that means that he will surpass special grade and thus surpass Gojo, since Gojo himself is a special grade. Now again, this isn't Gojo straight up just blatantly saying that Yuji will surpass him, but it is just heavily implied, and you compare this with another statement from Gojo that adds a lot of credence to this. In chapter 11, he states, "I'm gonna reset this crappy Jujutsu world. It would be easy to kill everyone in charge, but then a new leader would just take their place. People are not moved by massacres anyway, so that is why I have turned to education. I need strong and intelligent allies. I need to foster them. To that end, sometimes I'll assign my own missions to them. It's tough love. They're all great, especially 3rd year Hikari and 2nd year Okotsu. They will be as good as me someday. Yuji is no exception." Again, another quote from Gojo that Yuji will be at least his level once he grows, and the reason why he puts all of his strong students on powerful and tough missions is to grow them, to foster them, to make them strong, so that not only will they get to his level, but they will surpass him. Now you might say that these are conflicting statements from Gojo, and in one breath saying that Yuji will get to his level, and in the other breath saying that he will just outright surpass him. But the context of the narrative backs this up, and actually, if you add the context, it makes perfect sense. As Gojo said the phrase in chapter 11 about Yuji just getting to his level, and then the other one about him surpassing him in chapter 18. After seeing the quick progression of Yuji and his training with cursed energy, it can be logically assumed that after what he saw of Yuji, he upgraded what he thought of his potential, and thus said that not only can he now get to his level, but Yuji could actually surpass him. One of the main points people will use to negate the notion of Yuji surpassing Gojo is when Satoru claims he could defeat Sukuna in chapter 3. Yuji questions, "Is he stronger than you, sensei?" Good question. If Sukuna were to completely gain his full power, it would be a little tough. Would you lose? Nah, I'd win. Now this can seem convincing, but it's important to note that Gojo should not know Sukuna's full power. And it isn't just as simple as him facing a one-finger Sukuna incarnate and no-diffing him, and then multiplying that power by 20 for each finger, and assuming that he could defeat it based on that math, because it doesn't work like that, and it is a kind of a false dichotomy. For one, Gojo actually states that with each passing day, the fingers grow even stronger. Also, we know that Gojo cannot destroy the fingers, which means in theory, he wouldn't be able to defeat Sukuna. Remember, despite all the Jujutsu sorcerers, nobody could defeat him, and if you just think about it, this power that he has is inherited from his family, from his clan, the Limitless, which means it's very possible that somebody back in the Heian period, when Sukuna was the king of curses and was actually active, that his ancestor with the Limitless power could not defeat Sukuna. Another thing to add to that, which kind of makes this a false dichotomy, is that Yuji is actually going to be, when he's at the peak of his power, it's his own power paired with the might of Sukuna. So Gojo is claiming he could defeat a weaker Sukuna, but not an actual full power Sukuna, paired with the Yuji's might. We know Yuji is a prodigy when it comes to the Jujutsu sorcery business. He has grown incredibly proficient, incredibly fast, over the course of the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, as he has both feats and statements that support his massive improvements. I mean, the feats are just the many different characters that he has fought, and the statements are actually from Chozo himself, and many more. But Chozo did say that from just one arc to the next, that Yuji had massively increased his control of curse energy, and even his physical strength. He even referred to Yuji as a demon god. And the important part to this point is that Yuji was able to go toe-to-toe with Yuta, who is a special grade sorcerer. In fact, he would have beaten him if not for Rika showing up and taking Yuji off guard, allowing Yuta to stab him. This is important because Yuta is a second-year character, who, like I said, is a special grade sorcerer, and has an amount of curse energy that surpasses Gojo himself. And even Yuji took the upper hand in that fight before Rika intervened. Now yes, it is implied by Yuta that he was holding back, but it is also important to note that this was also a wounded Yuji. Chozo stated before this encounter that he had not recovered yet, which may or may not cancel each other out, meaning it's possible that Yuji actually surpassed Yuta. At the very least, Yuta without Rika. Again, yes, it seems that Yuta himself wasn't going all out as he implied it, but logically neither could Yuji, since he had not fully recovered from the events of the Shibuya incident arc. If Yuta had more curse energy than Gojo, then that means he should have similar stats when it comes to speed, durability, and attack potency, though Gojo has seemingly a much better technique, especially paired with the 6 eyes, and then it's kind of just overall better hacks-wise. So Yuta could have similar stats compared to Gojo. Gojo should be better because of him essentially having infinite stamina because of the 6 eyes technique, and then also the Limitless is just a better curse technique because Yuta, he's never really just, we see him go all out with his curse techniques. We know he can do copy curse technique, but usually he just seems to just use Rika or use his immense curse energy. He doesn't copy much of it from what we've seen so far at the very least. Remember, it was because of Yuta that allowed him to easily win the Goodwill event. As I stated, it was a one-sided affair because of him. They were fighting Todo, a grade 1 sorcerer from the other school. This dude no-diffed 5 grade 1 curses without his curse technique, and then defeated the special grade curse with his technique. And seemingly Yuta was far too much for him. And now Yuta is much stronger, and Yuji was defeating him until Rika got involved. Yuji is still in his first year. Yuji is still yet to unveil his curse technique. Yuji still has yet to learn domain expansion. Yuji has 5 more fingers of Sukuna to grow far stronger. If he consumes 5 more, he'll get far stronger. And those fingers are each getting stronger as well. And maybe the fingers inside of him are also getting stronger as well. We don't know that for sure. It also seems there are no limits to Yuji's physical strength, as he can grow rapidly quicker, as he added so much physical strength in just one arc from the next. Yuji is the main character as well when he had all of this together. So when you add in the statements from Gojo, one saying that he'll be his equal, one saying that Yuji's going to surpass him, you have him going against Yuta, a special grade sorcerer, and Yuji's not even close to his full potential. You have it so that Sukuna's fingers, and the fact that Gojo thinking that he could defeat Sukuna, it's just not an actual argument you can use to say that he would defeat Yuji, or that Yuji would never, of course he'd defeat Yuji now, but you can't use that as an argument to say that Yuji would never surpass him, because it's just a false dichotomy, because we're talking about Yuji surpassing him, not him being able to defeat Sukuna. Because remember, Yuji will be stronger. And also, it is blatantly stated by the mangaka that Gojo is a bit arrogant about his powers, which it makes sense. I mean, he has essentially more curse energy than 99% of the sorcerers. He has the 6 eyes, which essentially makes him have infinite stamina, like the androids from Dragon Ball. And then he has basically the most broken cursed technique, which is limitless. So yeah, it makes sense why he kind of has a god complex, but that doesn't mean that all of his claims are going to be right. He wasn't able to even damage Sukuna's fingers how is he going to defeat a full power Sukuna? So, interesting for that to think about. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that Yuji will surpass Gojo? I think he will. I think it's going to be a ways away, though, still. But I definitely think he will. And it just is backed up by Gojo himself. Gojo, as a teacher, as a sensei, he should have knowledge about his students. And while he can be arrogant about his own power, he never is really that arrogant about the power of his students. He fully believes in them. But please leave a like down below if you enjoyed. 1,000 is the like goal. Subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter down below as well. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...